As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
There's no crying in baseball!
I ate his liver with some fava beans. A nice cliente.
That was totally wicked!
If I can change, and you can change, everybody can change!
And welcome to another episode of Your Next Favorite Movie. I'm your host, Josh G. And today I'm being joined by the regular co-host. Please welcome Chad.
So,
and Chris.
hi.
And we're being joined 5-6 times now. It's normally just with Chad and Chris, but I'm making a rare appearance with him too. Please welcome the creator of Pocus Hocus and many others, Allen Dunford.
Hey, that's me! I've been on so many times now.
It's something like that. I don't know the exact count because I'm not on all of them. So,
Yeah.
but it's somewhere around that time.
Yeah,
It's
for
definitely
you, it's like the second time.
second time. Yes, for
Yep.
me, it's number 2. So before we get into tonight's movie, Al, I just want to give you the floor for a couple minutes. Tell everybody what you got going on since the last time you've been on, or what's coming up.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I always love to say thank you guys for having me, because this is absolutely one of my favorite podcasts to jump on, and I just love just love talking to you guys about all the stupid crap that I have going on and anything that hits my brain, right? But yeah, since we talked last, we just finished wrapping up the Horse and Hell Kickstarter campaign, which for us was our biggest campaign in terms of backer count, and as well in terms of just, I guess, financially as well. Like, it just really blew us away completely at every step of the way. And the other big news that we have, and we're so thrilled to say this, Pocus Hocus is finally coming into shops, and we will be available for store nationwide pickup, which is so wild to say. You can get Pocus Hocus number 1 on October the 25th. And pre-orders are already live, so you can either go to Previews World and pick it up there, or you can go to your local comic shop and say, hey, I want to tell you about a book you've never heard of, and I'm going to be the only person to walk in and ask for this thing. So can you put it in my pull box, please? And that would just mean the world to us. So then after that one hits, then from what I understand anyway, that granted could change, they're going to do it in a way that we launch, I guess, Pocus 1, and then I think the next month Pocus 2 comes out, and then the month after that, then we do Pocus 3, and then month after that Pocus 4. So you'll be able to get the first art available inside of your local comic shop, which is just it's just cool. I don't know, it's just awesome to say. And yeah, we, like I said, we've been on here before talking about it, but the short version, it's about a magician who sells his soul to a demon to have actual magical powers, and as these things go, it never goes his way, and he wants his soul back. And I promise the book is funnier than we're making it out to be.
No, it's great. It's a fun read,
and you will, and the rest of the crew should be very proud of yourselves, because you guys worked really hard for
it's
this.
been a long time coming
and
for this.
I just know we couldn't be more prouder of you guys. So
Yeah, I
we're
appreciate
excited.
it. We wouldn't be here without people like you, and even Josh, who refuses to make eye contact with us to acknowledge our existence. One time he was on, it really meant a lot.
Well, I'm back now. I'm back for this
Yeah.
one at least. All right, so let's get into tonight's movie. And this is a recent one, and I'll just warn everybody now that there's going to be spoilers, and it's not going to be the typical episode.
It's been out for a while, so if you haven't seen it, sorry, not sorry.
It's on. It's easily
Dun, dun, dun.
available. So
It's
there you
easily
go.
available, so
Yeah.
go watch it or something.
So
Of course,
we're
we're
right here
talking-
at this point. This is where we need the alert sound. Just go boop boop. Spoiler alert.
The
boop,
sirens.
boop.
On the other side of this little TV spot, I always put in the episode. Be ready for spoilers. We're talking about Zach Cregger's Barbarian.
Critics and audiences are screaming. Barbarian is a masterclass in horror. Twisted, shocking, and delightfully unhinged. It's one of the best thrillers in years. What the? Barbarian, rated R, now playing.
So I know Will did, but he couldn't make it. Did Alan? Did you get to see this in theaters?
No, I didn't watch it in theaters. I really wanted to. It's funny because I was actually the one that told Will about it. Like I told Will to watch it.
He left your ass at home. He was like,
yeah, like because I called him one day and I said, dude, I just saw a trailer for this movie. It looks wild. And I don't know what it's about, but it looks great. It's one of those trailers, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because,
yeah.
you know, and this is going to sound really pretentious, but a lot of times when it comes to trailers and how movies are marketed, you can judge a book by its cover, right?
Mhm.
If a trailer gives away too much of the story, there's times I've watched a trailer and be like, okay, that's the whole damn movie. Like, is there even anything that I need to see now? Or if a trailer doesn't actually show you scenes from, okay, how do I word this? If a trailer doesn't actually feel like a trailer and they just show you literally a scene from the movie,
Right.
it's probably going to be bad because they feel like that's all they have to show you, that this is what we're going to get to come in. Prime example of that, Tom Cruise's The Mummy. The trailer was just the scene where he's falling out of the plane.
yeah.
That has nothing to do with anything in the movie. It's just a scene that happened, right?
It's just that meant. Oh, it's a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise
So-
performs stunts.
Yes. But with this movie, dude, I remember I watched it and I was like, I just have a good feeling about this.
Well, that trailer
And-
was something
yeah.
because it really didn't give anything, and I think it left everyone just stumped and yet intrigued. So
100%.
it definitely got people interested for sure to go be like, yeah, I think I'm going to check this out. I'm going to check it out. And I don't think anyone was prepared for
Yeah.
what it was going to be because it definitely is a twisted movie.
Yep, and we'll get into that. Yeah, I guess Chad, Chris, and myself, we all saw it on Max probably for the first time. Then.
Yeah,
I did.
So I guess to start off, and this will lead right into the movie, I wanted to ask this question because I'm old school and I haven't, but who here has stayed at an Airbnb?
I have.
I have.
Have I? I don't know if I have.
Well, we did.
I stay in hotels because I got coin. Okay. I don't
Well, we did it that
stay
one.
I got it like that, so I just stayed.
Well, the one time you did was at Lucas Brandy's wedding thing because when we all chipped in for that beach house. That was Airbnb.
Oh, but see, I didn't have to pay for that because I'm fancy.
Okay.
Chad got
Anybody-
coin.
Anybody had any experience like in this movie to start off with?
No, because
No,
we're here
no.
talking to you. So yeah, I guess yeah.
And I'm sorry, but if someone just shows up as well, I'm not going to sit there and be like, "Oh, we'll just be roomies
We'll
anyway."
just work it out. It's raining outside. We'll just work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who don't know,
Right.
yeah, that's what's weird. What is this movie about, right? It's so bizarre. This movie's just about a girl that stays at an Airbnb, and just absolute insanity happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
And then the funny thing is, it's the only nice house in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
hilarious, right? A lot of
Yeah.
with movies, there's a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Mhm.
And you really have to turn your brain off to a lot of stuff. This movie especially, you have to turn your brain off to a lot of it.
Right.
But my God, if it isn't worth doing that, right?
It's so. I don't even know how to really explain it to you because I think it's so bizarre because you got it starting off as one thing and then it just suddenly
That's a major total
and then it
shift.
just completely changes.
We'll
midway.
get there, Chris. We'll get there.
Yeah, so it's really hard to explain it, but man,
But
Yeah.
speaking of the
Wow.
nice house and the terrible block, hey, when I was searching for houses, we saw a great looking house, and when we pulled up to it and saw everything around it, we told our realtor, "Nope, this isn't it. We're not. This." They made it look good online, but this is not it.
I don't
So
blame
that- and that's the good thing is they put it in the rain at night in an area someone's unfamiliar with, so she can't see, she can't tell that it's a bad area yet. But yeah, she walks up, goes in to go to the Airbnb. There's no key. Someone else stayed there. It's been double booked because they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the only thing is too is I will say is like, even though it was raining, it was also pretty much the only house with a light.
Right.
But if I'm going down dark neighborhood and that's the only house that's got a light on, I'm going to be a little freaked. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little freaked out. I'm going to be like,
Which you should be.
This ain't for me.
Yeah, which you have every right to be. So yeah, this girl, she goes in and then she meets. What's wild is if you dissect this movie, every act could stand on its own as a totally different movie.
Yep.
And that's so crazy. So our girl, she meets our next character that we're introduced to, and that's Bill Skarsgård's character.
Perfect casting.
Yep. He was phenomenal. Like, in the little amount of time that he was on the screen, he was so good. So, we're, as the audience, not knowing what's happening, we're watching these two characters interact, and of course, Bill Skarsgård's there before her, so we're already kind of feeling, is he the one that's up to no good? Because that's how these movies go, right?
Yep.
So we're watching this thing, and Bill Skarsgård's the creep. He's doing all this stuff or whatever. What made him creepy was how hard he tried to, and this was such good acting, and how hard he tried to not act creepy.
Yeah.
When she walks in the kitchen and he still has the wine bottle set up, he's like, I just wanted you to see me open it.
Right.
That made it worse than if he would have just handed it to her.
Well, and that's one thing too, which I think we'll get into about with other characters, the way that he was acting. He's like, I want you to see that it definitely speaks a little bit about the times. So,
right.
Which I'll get into a little bit more, but there's something about it that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I also think his casting's perfect because what do we all know him as? Pennywise. He even
Pennywise.
says the line,
Yeah.
What do I look like? A monster? And as soon as he said that, I looked at my wife and said, I mean, he is Pennywise. I mean, it's the perfect casting. Not everybody can pull it off.
Yep, 100%.
And that's what he does. He changes in the Pennywise right in front of him.
Yeah, and then the movie ends. Yep.
Red balloon. Boom. The end? Question mark.
Oh my God. So yeah, this, and again, I think we have to say what we need to say at this point, because like I said, each act of this movie has a totally different feel and it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the first act feels like a traditional horror film.
Yep.
It's so crazy. It feels like that cat and mouse horror, like especially when she wakes up and the door's open.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh God, what's Bill up to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's out there having a night terror.
Yep.
He's having night terrors on the couch, making noises in his sleep, and mad as shit when she wakes him up.
Well, it definitely feels reminiscent of some of those 90s thrillers, where you got like, I don't know, Julia Roberts and who was it, like Sleep with the Enemy or something like Sleeping with the Enemy. And, you're not sure like what's going to happen, or Enough with Jennifer Lopez and I forget his name too. So yeah,
I never watched Enough. I remember that exists, but
well, it's basically where you got the bad guy and they're just chasing their girlfriends or whatever and doing awful things. So, and you think it's going to be like one of those kind of thrillers, like it's just going to be that run of the mill thriller, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
Okay, but yeah, so I mean, we'll get through this first act before we get our big tonal shift.
Yeah,
that of course is they wake up, they go off and do their things for the day. She comes back, she ends up checking the basement, and the door closes and locks her down.
Mm-hmm.
And then she
creepy
goes
basement.
down. Yeah, creepy basement.
It's always creepy basement. It's never fun and inviting basement.
No.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have been in full walkout basements that aren't so bad, but even then, you still get creeped out when you're first walking down in them until you get there and like, oh yeah, this is fully furnished. But when you first open that door, yes, it's always creepy.
Why? Are you just worried about what's waiting down there for you?
I mean, you never know.
Never know. Exactly. I agree.
Y'all are weird.
Chad, stop.
You have that one
stop
light bulb.
Chad's trying to act tough right now.
And then you got the light bulb light hanging below, the one that's right there in the center of the room.
It's not that creepy.
Chad,
really, Chad.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on, Chris. You'll back me up on this. As someone who's known you for 30 plus years, Chad, if the three of us went, me and Chris would have to go first.
That's just leading me. because
Yeah, we
because
don't make the rules, man. It's just how it happens.
That's just how it is. Because you know what, Mama didn't raise no fool.
Yeah.
So,
But there's nothing down there to be scared of, Chad. You should
exactly. So there should be a
lead the
problem for you to
charge.
go on down there first.
Chad's
You
not
go down
leading
there,
the
you
charge.
I
find
say
out
if there's
there, you
ever
let
an
me know.
opportunity like that, then we send you know who down there first.
Well, I did walk through a graveyard yelling for a goat that never showed up. So
A goat?
A go-
Is that what you said? Did you say a goat?
So it's
Okay,
a goat.
all right.
It's,
So
so
the next act of the movie, absolutely.
But anywho, yes. Next, okay. So next beat.
Okay, well, we see Bill Skarsgård. He runs up to her, and then something bashes his head against the wall. Right? Is that what happens to him? I'm trying to remember.
Well, I mean, first he sees her in the basement, gets her out, and then he goes and checks it out, and it's coming back. Yes, and
Okay.
and that's when you get the surprise of the movie because this creature runs up,
Yeah.
and just slams his head in the wall. And boom, Bill Skarsgård's gone. You're thinking he's the man in this. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know how they sold
And
it.
then just to kind of rewind a little bit, the one thing that was really weird too that you thought was going to go into a one direction, if you will.
Ha! Hang on, I gotta look up One Direction songs. Keep going. I'm gonna make a pun here in a second.
Watermelon sugar. Anyway,
That's a Harry Styles
Or
song. It's not a One Direction song.
What makes you beautiful?
What makes you beautiful? There you go.
so anyway,
Yeah, what made Bill
She-
Skarsgård beautiful in this?
When that woman slammed
That
his head
whole
against the
family
wall.
is nothing but beautiful.
she finds
beings, let me tell
that she
you.
finds the door right that goes into like this small hallway. Then it has another room in that hallway, which is a creepy room because you look like it's going to be like some sort of, I don't know, like
dungeon.
maybe because like it's got the one bed in there and a camera, I believe, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to go one way, and then next thing you know, you find out, oh wait a minute, there's another door,
Yet another door.
and it goes much further down.
Yeah.
Luckily, she doesn't keep going, though. She comes back, and that's when she gets Bill Skarsgård. She's not willing to go too far. She goes a little bit, which is understandable and makes sense.
I would not have been able to go. I'd be like, I'm getting help.
I mean, she's trapped in a basement with a locked door. Where's she going for help? She can't.
Oh wait,
And to
at
be
that
fair-
point, I guess so, because I thought she went back and because there's
At that
one
point, you
other
just
part where
gotta
she did
accept
go
what
all the way
she did.
back out for a second.
You know, I wonder if this movie was based on that real life. He was a dad that kept his daughter like in the basement, and like his wife never knew about it. They just assumed that the daughter ran away. His name was Josef Fritzl.
Yeah, they made a movie about that. It's called
Yeah.
Girl in the Basement with Judd Nelson. I've seen that.
Oh yeah,
And there's a similar movie called Room. And
Oh,
which,
yeah.
what's her name? Won
but
the
I wonder
Oscar
if this
for.
movie was kind of inspired by that.
Oh, dude,
'cause,
Room is
like, his
depressing.
And then,
Dungeon is just crazy.
but it's so good too.
Not like The Room. All right, but anyway. All right.
You're killing me. Oh, hi, Mom.
Yeah, you're tearing me apart,
You're tearing
Barbarian.
me apart.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, God, if the monster would have just ran up. Oh, hi, Bill.
Yeah.
So what's wild is after that, like immediately after, and this was like, your body doesn't know how to feel, because this is kind of and I'd love for us to maybe one day do like a double feature of what is it, Midsummer and Hereditary.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
Had
just
to be in the mood for
because-
that one.
Yeah, because like two very good movies, but two totally different feels, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everything happens in Hereditary in the dark, and everything in Midsummer is bright and in your face.
Yep.
And it's just like both of them are just so unsettling. But anyway, so yeah, we have that happen. Bill Skarsgård's dead. Our main character's trapped, and then it cuts to Justin Long speeding down a highway,
Right.
and like sun's blasting, drop top down. We don't know. Like I didn't even know he was in the movie.
I didn't either.
No, that's
And
part
I'm
of the
like,
beauty of the
"What?"
trailer, right?
Yeah,
You didn't expect that.
yeah. So
Then-
I'm trying to remember. He's a, I guess we'll go straight into it. He's a sleazy. Is he a sleazy producer?
Is he a
Yeah.
producer? Yeah. That
Oh,
sounds
or
about
was he?
right.
I think it was a producer, right?
Mhm.
I can't
forget now.
remember what his exact role was in the movie.
Because I know he had like I I think, a big opportunity that was happening, and then of course it all comes crashing down
Because he got, I hate when people use this word now, but yeah, he got canceled.
he got canceled.
He got canceled because he was being a slime ball, right? So
Mhm.
he kind of deserved to get canceled. So yeah, all that was coming out, and then I guess that's when he makes his place back at the house, right?
Yeah, because I know
he's got to go get some money, so he's got to liquidate what he has, and that turns out to be his place that he's been renting out.
Right.
Because I know it was his property and so yeah. But that's what I was gonna say too, is like it's interesting that the movie, I think, kind of, I want to say, picks on, for a better lack of word, like the cancel culture and the Me Too thing as well, because you had,
I think he even directly mentions the Me Too movement, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, you have the way, like, in the first act of that movie where, again, you see, like, how Keith is acting, and then he even tells her, like, I want you to see me open this, and and then you see the basement layout, and especially that one room, because it's creepy, blah, 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 creepy man thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating in some respect how the movie kind of picks on this, because it is something that's very timely.
Yeah, it's real topical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you wanted to talk about it, Chris. I was just giving you.
No, you're good. You're good.
Because I wanted
just making that correlation.
Okay. Yeah, we're all waiting for you to keep going, man.
No.
This is your show, dude. No, this is your moment.
Like, this is your moment.
Dream
boo-boo.
big, I say, Chris.
Yeah.
Get your go-go juice and get up in front of them judges.
Impress them judges.
Oh,
Because I wanted to bring
Come
this
on,
up.
boo-boo.
He calls his friend and goes and meets him at a club or whatever, and his friend wants to know what really happened. He's like, I mean, we did. It took some convincing. And I'm not going to call out any names, but I was listening to a podcast with a guy who defended this action. I was like, I mean, we've all been there in the bar, and yeah, sometimes it takes a couple drinks. And I was like, oh my God, no, you took the wrong. No. This is telling you that, yes, he is a sleazebag that we're supposed to think he is. This is not giving you a reason to defend him as a character.
It was weird. It's like, whenever it happened, it's just funny because, like, it may have been, right place, right time, whatever. But, like, I see Justin Long in a movie, and I immediately want to think and hope that he's the good guy.
Right. Yeah, because that's what we're used to. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, all this shit's happening, and he's talking all this stuff, and I'm just like, man, I hate that for him. Maybe he's innocent. I don't know. Maybe there's a weird twist with this, and then find out he was a piece of shit.
and doesn't let up.
No, he even has a chance. And once we get to the third act, he even has a chance for redemption.
Yeah.
And he totally just throws that away.
Yeah.
Yes. But we got to get to what has got to be one of the funniest things I've seen in a horror movie in a long time. And that is when he discovers this basement. And he starts looking up whether or not he can use this to charge more for having...
So the house
is
bigger, right? Yeah.
And he's measuring through. He's going in the room
with a big-ass measuring tape.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Incredible.
Like, he even moves the dungeon bed out of the way so that he can fully measure. So it's not.
I like how he just goes in there and he doesn't even think it's weird.
Yeah.
To him, it's just like, oh, this is another space.
That's my point. He's just measuring. I'm just sitting there cracking.
It feels
up.
like a scary movie moment, honestly, because it was pretty funny to me when he walked. I'm like,
it legitimately
sitting there
felt
just
spoof,
like,
didn't it?
what can we do with this space? We can put some drapes over there. And it's just like, how much is this? Let's see. Let's measure this.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was just like one thing after another.
And he carries all of like a little steak knife down there to protect.
Yeah.
I mean,
not even a butcher's knife. A
At
steak
least
knife.
it's something,
I mean, in all honesty, for a moment, I thought we'd see like his character from Zack and Miri probably pop out for something.
Oh, yeah.
And be like,
oh my God, baby.
yeah.
Take my picture.
Oh, granny panties. Is that you?
Oh God.
Fucking movies.
Oh my goodness.
All male cast.
An all male cast.
Chris, it's funny you say that because this year I actually watched Glengarry Glen Ross for the first time.
Oh
The
my
movie
God.
They bring up in that.
Yes. That's funny.
Oh man.
But back to what actually happens, and you're like,
Right.
and Chad, you're like, yeah, at least he brought something to defend himself. But when he goes to pull it out, he fumbles it. He can't even damn hold the knife, so it's not doing him any good, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when he gets captured, and we go into, I guess, well, yeah,
A
we're
year
getting into
later or
that.
whatever.
I guess this
Yeah.
is where we go into the twisted part where it's like, oh, this took a totally different direction.
Yeah. So again, another tonal shift, right? So when does it show the backstory?
That's a good
for,
point. Is that
what's his name? Richard Blake's character.
yeah?
Richard Brake.
Break. Sorry.
It is.
Yeah, Richard Skirt. Yeah, you should just go by that.
And it's somewhere around this point anyway.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere right
Okay.
in here.
I think it is because once he discovers it, because I'm trying to. Gosh, I wish I would have because I thought I knew everything about. I was like, no, I've already watched it like 3 times.
Right.
I'm good. But because I know that the part with the cage, I can't remember exactly when that happens in relation to discovering the whole backstory first.
Yeah, because also wasn't the backstory kind of, I think it's also kind of scattered.
Okay.
In the second part, right? Like it kind of looks like
that's
flashbacks
what
of
it
sorts
is.
before it leads up into seeing like
Right.
the tape of everything. Yeah. Because you see this guy. Oh gosh, what was his character like? He was spying on that woman. I guess you'd say like he was following
he's
her
supposed to be
or
like a handyman of sorts.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, he was disguising himself as like a handyman. Or that's probably what he did, but that's how he used to get access into places or whatever.
Yeah, because then like he followed her to the store. Is that right? Like he
Yeah, I
had
think
been,
he was. Yeah, we first
right?
see him watching her outside of the store.
because he had been I guess kept his eye on her for a while,
Mhm.
and he just knew that was going to be his target, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. Sorry guys, I know usually I
People
watch
are
these things pretty.
screaming
I
at
know
you right
people
now.
are probably screaming at me
People are
like,
screaming
"No, it's
into
right
their
there!"
phones and-
Brrr.
their lunch
Possibly.
break.
Yeah, I normally take detailed notes, and I did not. I just watched it, but yeah.
Shame
Still.
on you.
Yeah, I know. What's up?
Well, there's a lot that goes on, so
Josh is supposed to be a professional podcaster.
Yeah, I'm just a guest. I get a pass.
Oh, but I can't blame you though too, Josh,
Me too,
just because
Alan,
like
me too.
it has these tonal shifts and these different things that happen.
Yeah, it
but
feels
there's a
like
lot
3
that
different
goes
movies
down.
thrown together.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to remember right off the
Where
bat. Maybe
everything
we should have took
happens.
notes where everything happened. Yeah, you just knew that. Okay, well now Justin Long's character is suddenly kidnapped. He's in his cage, but meanwhile we got this guy who's being a predator, stalking this woman. We don't know what the hell is going to happen with that.
Mhm.
And then we cut back to the cage, and we're seeing him like, where the hell am I? I need to get out.
And
And
he's
then
trapped in there with our girl.
AJ, right? I think is her name.
Yeah, AJ and Tess.
AJ and Tess, yes.
Yeah.
AJ is Justin Long.
Okay,
and
that's
Tess is
AJ's Justin Long.
God,
Wow.
gross.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah,
People
they're
are
in there, and
screaming
so
at
she's
you right
like
now.
the calm one, even though she's
been
down
in there a couple weeks I
Yeah,
guess, at this point.
she's trying to tell him,
Like, shut the
"Hey,
fuck
this
up.
is how it's going to work." So shut the fuck up, but he can't do that.
Dude, when the bottle came down.
Yeah. I forget
Chad's
what's the
favorite
big
scene.
bottle. Wasn't it a big bottle?
Oh, it was a big bottle. Yes. it
Yes.
was.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my god.
Who's the big boy?
Oh man. Yeah. And then next thing you
It
hear
had
this,
like the hair on it. That was the worst part about it.
and then you hear this thump.
What was the thump for?
The thump because it was the thing.
The thing.
The thing.
La cosa.
The quote unquote madre.
Oh.
Call me mother.
Yep. Oh, God. It just
Who
hurts my
was she?
stomach thinking about it.
When he said the
Alan's
thump, he
not lying.
confused me because I thought we were already there with the mother.
Because
at
it's
this
supposed to be a thump on the ground.
Yeah.
You mean a thud?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Thud, thump, whatever. Thud, thump.
You know what he means.
How about a
Mary's
kaplump?
breasts.
Yeah, they're good. We like the kaplump.
Remember that?
The kaplump.
Yeah, but I heard them hit the ground.
Oh yes. Inside joke there, yeah.
So, of course, obviously, AJ fights back. And this gives Tess a chance to get out. Because Chad, I
Well,
want to
and
give you a
Tess was
chance.
Tess also at this point trying to explain to him, just go with what she's doing.
Yes.
Yes. She tells him that. He doesn't listen. But him fighting and arguing and not wanting to do it is what gives her her chance to run.
This weird creature lady, if we call her that.
The castle freak.
Yes. She's enormous.
She is.
She's like Amazon,
Yes,
huge,
sir. Yes, sir. She's
beefy.
a big girl.
Yes, sure. She's a big girl.
She's a big girl.
Buffalo Bill would love to skin her.
Yes.
And
Was he asking
maybe
for
that was a
size
little
14?
too much to say, right? I'd be like, oh wait, what was it? Like, put some lotion on
Put
the
some
skin.
lotion on the skin.
What?
Or else I guess the nose again.
Sorry.
I'll cover Silence of the Lambs in the archives. You can go check that out.
I know. God, sorry, we can't get it. It's
Such a good movie. It's
such a
probably one
good
of the
movie.
best
Quote it
movies
so
ever.
much. But anyway, she's wanting to basically milk AJ. Oh wait a minute, that didn't come out right.
Chris.
That did not come out right.
Yeah, you don't word it that way, man. You don't word it that way.
Leche AJ, leche AJ. not that way.
She's
Sorry.
trying to feed AJ.
She's trying to feed him. Thank you.
Like a
Thank
baby.
you.
Her
Like
baby.
a baby. Her baba.
Like a baby. Like a baby.
Baby, as
Yeah.
Moira would
Tiny
say.
baby fledgling person.
Yep,
Okay.
that's Chad's favorite scene,
Yeah,
isn't
keep
it?
going. Keep
Yes,
going.
please. Go in that accent, Chad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't.
Come on, Chad. That's your favorite scene, the feeding scene, right?
What is it true? Like, it's the baby sleeping.
Oh no, y'all carry on. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's so traumatizing. I tried to forget this whole thing.
So yeah,
But yeah, Alan was right though. It had the hair on. I remember that.
yes, it was a nasty bottle.
Yep.
Nasty.
And this creature lady is not only enormous but butt ass naked.
But
Why wouldn't she be
She's naked, as you know they say in our neck of the woods, Alan.
naked?
And
not naked, just naked.
naked. And
You might be.
To be fair, we'd probably question where she got clothes if she had clothes on. So we'd be
Yeah.
questioning that. So it makes sense that
Yeah, I
she's
guess so.
naked.
maybe. But I mean, at night she could have always gone up into that house and probably.
I don't think
like,
clothes
rubbish
have been a
people's,
priority in
she
her
could have.
life,
She
Chris.
could have got the bed sheets and made something out of it.
I don't think that's a priority.
You just want to see
She
her walk around
doesn't-
looking like an ancient Roman wearing a toga.
Chris, she doesn't care if you have a problem with her nudity. She's not worried about it.
Oh my God, what are people thinking out of these?
They're
some of these
screaming
comments
at
now?
you. Is what they're doing.
Not just me, but like yeah.
No, they're just like people.
Alan-
Finally stop talking about this movie.
Alan is sitting here quiet at the moment, like
I'm just
let them keep talking.
Yeah, I'm just letting all this happen. Just letting your guys' sins wash over me.
He's getting ideas for the next Pocus Hocus story
Yes.
arc.
Yeah, how did you know?
Naked, large Amazon woman.
Keep going. Yeah, you guys just keep feeding me ideas. That's all I need.
Hey, you know what they say? Picasso said, "Great artists steal."
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, you know.
Justin
Okay.
Long type character.
Okay, so go.
Yeah,
John.
Chad, I wanted you to talk about because I know you had a problem when Tess gets out and goes to the cops. You had a problem with the cops in this movie when we first saw
Oh, yeah,
it.
they
because
were
they were
stupid.
stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
That's what they were. They were stupid as shit.
Yeah, again,
They-
we talked
they were
about
completely- Yeah,
suspension of
they-
disbelief,
they,
right?
they were so dismissive. They're like, you know.
But at the same time,
I'm going to argue
it's
that.
very
Chad.
realistic.
Look at where they're at. And look at the other guy who later on, I know you hate the fact that he gives us our exposition. We'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah,
We didn't mention that where he's chasing her in when she comes back to the house the
homeless
first
guy.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah. But this is the kind of people that they're used to in this area of town. They're used to these people on drugs making crazy claims. Maybe not exactly like this. So to me, I don't think he's just dismissive and stupid. I think he's heard stories like this before.
But that's
And he's
also part of the problem. That's also part of the realistic problem, because regardless, as an officer, you should be taking if someone's coming to you for help, regardless of what situation they're in, you need to be taking it serious.
Say it again for the people in the back, Chris.
But that's
You
just not the way it happens
No,
all the time.
No, it isn't. It's not how it happens. But that's the problem. That's what they're illustrating here, is because realistically, in real life, this is a situation where it would have happened this way. And we have seen that. I mean, look at what happened with Jeffrey Dahmer when he had that one kid that ran away naked from him. And you had those two women that called the cops and they say, hey, something's not right with this kid.
Go back with him.
Look, this kid is bleeding as well. And they still let him get away walking with Jeffrey Dahmer back to his apartment. So it's just because they didn't take it serious.
So clearly Jeffrey Dahmer doesn't exist in the Barbarian universe.
It illustrates it.
That's the takeaway from this.
That's the only thing you got from all of this.
Sorry, I went on a rant there. But it's the realistic situation.
It's frustrating is what it is. Yeah. It's frustrating is what it is.
Because it's also something that's very timely and our climate as well. And I think that's the brilliance of this movie in a way, is that it's underlining the real life issues that we're facing. You know, and that's one thing that you see in a lot of great horror movies. No matter what decade, you see something. You see them tackle something, even if it's in humor or if it's in a scary moment or whatever, and it's a moment where maybe it seems fantastical to you, but then if you think about it, it's like, well, it's not really that fantastical. Which in this situation, because these cops were being dumb, which is something that would have happened in real life too. Not to say that happens for every situation, right? But in this situation, they were being dummies.
Yeah. So the other
can I
part
testify now?
Yeah, because the other part with it too is how in the world did this house this was again I think this was my first. Once I realized, okay, I have to turn my brain off. How in the world did this house make it in this neighborhood this long? Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And also, with it being so nice, how did it not get squatters?
Yeah.
Right. 100%. Yeah. My favorite thing coming up too is I guess he's the homeless man, right? That tries to help the girl when she actually escapes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was going next. Yes.
Okay, go for it.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
You go. No, you.
I'm just saying this is where they go to talk, right? Isn't that where we're at?
Yeah. So girl escapes. Obviously, no one's hearing her out. I
think she runs back and gets AJ, right?
No, she wants to go back and help. That's the problem too. Yeah. We as an audience know, leave this asshole go get your scepter. We don't like him anyway. But she doesn't know this.
Yeah, so she thinks he's a good guy.
Yeah, she wants to save him. Even though, she should have known a little bit, because she said, hey, this is what you need to do. Let's keep this situation calm. And he immediately went the opposite of that.
Right.
She should have known something that he wasn't going to cooperate anyway. But it did give her a chance to get out of there. So,
because at this point, too, it was morning, right? Or heading into daytime or something like that. Because I know there was that point where she was able to get away and the Barbarian, if you will, in this case, wouldn't go outside in the daytime.
Yeah, she pokes her head out that little window where Tess had gotten Bill Skarsgård attention earlier in the movie, and then slithers back in because it is daytime at this point.
Okay, I couldn't. I was like, was it nighttime when she got the officers, or was it daytime? But
no, it was in the middle of the day.
Okay, cool.
He comes out, screaming.
Just like the two old guys in that show Vicious when he was going, oh god, the light.
Yes.
But she ends up, the cops, they get a call, they go do whatever, they're not helping her. And I guess that's where she runs into the homeless man. He takes her back to where as you guys say, he's squatting and tells her the story of how, I guess he tells her basically Richard Brake's backstory because he knows.
Yeah. Because, we keep forgetting too, during that time, there's more flashbacks. So we see where he stalks that woman back to her house and how he lies in order to get back or to get in her house. And then we don't see anything after that. And it's not until I think really when this guy explains the situation, which Chad, your favorite part, the exposition.
Yep. Go for it, Chad.
No. Don't even do it. Don't even do it.
Chad. Hey, wait. Listen to me. This is your chance. Okay?
Your chance to shine, honey.
This is your chance to be on the stage and show them your real talent. Okay? Show these two nerds what you can do, all right?
Let us watch.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Chad, now explain the exposition.
I don't remember.
Chad, what is exposition?
It's dialogue. It's an information dump, is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go. He dumps a bunch of information.
Yeah, he tells us that's been going on, and he's the only one that somehow has been able to. He's the only one that knows. He's the only one that has survived.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if he gives any more details that we don't know yet. I don't remember. Do you remember, Alan?
No, he pretty much just, it's one of those like how I took it was like urban legend stuff. You know what I mean? Like he's like, you don't go into that house. One of those things. Yeah.
Don't
And
go
she's
to
like-
the house at the end of the block.
Right. And Tess makes the comment about, well, what if she comes here? And that's when he makes, I mean, and this is probably the most predictable scene in the movie.
Yeah.
When he says, oh, well, she's never come here the whole time. And then boom, she jumps in right at that moment. I was like, okay.
Dude, I loved that part, though. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'm not going to lie to that. I didn't jump when I did.
Yeah. Well, like, it's funny because, like, you know it's coming.
Yeah, you do
Right,
know it's coming.
The whole time you know it's coming, and yet it's still delivered.
But I think it is kind of funny because you're sitting there as a viewer thinking like, man, she's never come out or did anything else outside the house. But then suddenly she's able to come out of the house. And there's like them saying like, haha, surprise, guess what? Now she comes out of the house.
Sounds about on brand for a horror movie.
I don't know if any of her babies have gotten away before. So
That's
she's
true,
never
too.
had the need to come fully out of the house except at night.
Well, you know what it was? She
Late
got
at night.
mad because her baby didn't come home before the lights came on at the street.
I do love the fact that she like
I'm
what,
just
she
saying.
rips his arm off and beats him with it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was like, oh, this is so over the top. It's great.
But then it's like during this time too, isn't AJ? He discovers
The
old
videotapes,
man.
the old man himself. Yeah, like the videotapes that says like redheaded neighbor and I can't remember what any other
all the
ones said. I
creepy
just-
stuff. It's
yeah.
the creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Mm. And then the irony is you have creepy guy talking to disgusted at other creepy guy.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. On this day, that is true. So yeah, like I guess like now it's crazy how everything happens because now we're actually getting to the end of the movie.
Right.
So you know,
Which reminds me, so the Barbarian girl,
Mhm.
she is a product of, I guess, the rape, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how I took it.
Yep.
Yeah. And
But how
I
is
think
she
that was
mutated?
Yeah, that was one of those things where, well, I mean, she like never saw daylight. anything
She's
like that.
feral. She's a feral
Yeah.
person.
Well, I know
Feral child.
she's feral, but I wonder like how she became so tall and strong.
I don't know.
Richard Brake is tall.
Richard
Maybe not
Brake?
strong,
Yeah,
but
she's
he's
Richard
tall.
Brake is tall.
It's just kind of crazy though because like he was still at the bottom of the house, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. He was in his room at the end that she knew that
And,
she couldn't cross.
Justin Long never knew that they all were still down there.
Exactly.
Okay. Obviously, a lot of questions on how did they keep getting food in, and you know what I mean, like stuff
Yeah.
like that, like just
I mean,
that's the
it-
part where
It didn't look like he was ordering delivery. I'm just
I know, right? So that's the part where it's just like, how the hell does this even happen? But no, so we make it to the top of this tower. And I think that's where the whole movie really was like, oh my God, type thing.
Yeah.
And is that where Justin Long's character dies
Mhm.
up there?
No,
Yeah.
no, not
Oh,
up there. No.
It's not.
This is
Okay.
where
Oh
he
damn! Never
has to
mind.
redeem himself and tosses
That's
Tess
what it is.
off the tower.
Yes, yeah.
So that the
And then that monster
Barbarian lady
jumps
will
after
jump.
him. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. And again, suspension of disbelief.
She catches up.
Yeah, and then sacrifices herself to
We
save
think.
Tess.
We think.
Yeah. And that's
Like-
just one of those like, oh
Like,
my
yeah, he
God,
looks
moment.
down and
Yeah.
she's now underneath Tess. So she had basically
Yeah.
broke her fall, if you will. You
Right.
see blood splattered on the pavement. So you're like, oh, her brain's crushed.
Yeah.
So then he goes down and sees she's still alive. He's like, you were falling. I had to do it. And I'm like, dude, oh my
Oh
God.
my. Yeah. That's what he's. Yeah. That's
He's trying
really.
to
You're the
defend
creepy
his
dude.
actions. And then she gets up. and she takes care of AJ.
She's
for
dazed
her.
at first, right? Is that
Yeah.
what it is? You okay?
But she grabs his head, and anybody who's seen Jeepers Creepers, you'll know Justin Long and eye trauma go hand in hand in these
Yeah.
horror movies.
Yep.
Because
That's a good point. Good one, Josh.
she gouges his eyes out, and it's like the Italian horror, Chris, that Fulci
Oh,
that
Giallo
we were
stuff?
with the. Not Giallo horror.
Yeah.
I say more. I should just say Fulci horror.
It's
with
just
that
brutal.
oozing.
Yeah.
With that, but the way it oozes is like almost a nod to Fulci himself. I wouldn't say Giallo.
See, in that moment, they should have been playing. Where did you get those peepers?
Well, I think because Jeepers Creepers already did that scene with Justin Long, that would have been 2 on the nose.
Probably.
And then
But
she
still would've
takes
been
it
funny.
and like splits his head in half, which was
That was crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, that's where I'll sit there and go, man, how did she become that strong with no sunlight? But then again, she had that big ass bottle of milk, so she must have had a lot of milk.
Yeah, baby girl had a lot of calcium.
Exactly. That's probably why she got so damn tall.
Yep. Girl, why are you so tall? So, yeah, and then so I guess that's like, and then our hero just walks off in the sunset, right?
Well, before she does that, she has that gun
yeah,
And she shoots.
and she shoots the barbarian
yeah.
lady and says, we can't do this."
yeah.
And
Bubba.
yeah,
Not-
then
it's
she
not
gets
you,
to
it's
walk
me.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
But is it really the end?
Because we didn't mention that the old man Richard Brake's character actually grabbed the gun and shot himself while he was down there in front of
Yeah.
Justin Long.
Yeah.
yeah. I think he was finally one of those. Well, the jig is up type things.
Yeah.
right?
And he was just like, well, I'm stuck in this bed. I mean,
Yeah.
He
what
couldn't-
else am I going to do?
I don't think he could do anything. It wasn't until Justin Long actually pulled that table over towards him that he probably wanted to do that for a long time, but he couldn't get up out of bed.
Yep.
He was bedridden, and when he pulled it over, it gave him his chance because Justin Long thinks he's going to shoot him at first, and he ends up just taking his own life because he's like, "I'm done. This is over. I'm old.
So-
I should have died already."
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Is this one of those movies where your first initial watch is like, man, this is great because of how absolutely crazy it was, right? This movie's great. I recommend it to anyone who wants to watch it. Is it one of those where it's like that, but then you have your retrospective like a year later, right? Does the movie still hold up to how you remember it? After we talked about all this stuff, because we've talked about a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of stuff in the movie that honestly does not make sense.
That's true.
There's a lot of stuff in the movie that is really testing the audience to hang in there, right?
Right.
Does this movie still hold up?
I think it's a movie that I think you need to probably take, which I do this with most movies anyway, because I'm not a big rewatcher. Take a couple years in between. Give yourself time to forget some of the stuff that happens in the movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Because if you're watching this a couple times a year, I don't know that it can hold up. And as far as this is the suspension of disbelief, as horror fans, I think we just grown accustomed. That's what we do. We're able to go
That's
into
what
those
we do.
movies.
That's what I'm going to say.
do.
Like,
Yeah.
because the thing is, like, I can watch, we can name a lot of great horror movies, for example, and from decades ago, and we still sit there and say, "Oh, this is a great movie," but then you sit there and you just, there's someone else who could still sit there and say, "Oh, yeah, but in this situation, blah 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 blah."
It wouldn't happen like that.
It wouldn't happen like that. How could it happen like that? And so I kind of think, honestly, I think the movie does a good job with, to me, I feel like it still holds up, like being fun, entertaining, enjoyable.
Because there's no wrong answer to this.
No, and I would say that it's still, and it does like what a lot of other, I think, great horror movies do, which is that sometimes it hits the topical situations that's in the current climate. And I think that's one of the things that'll stay with the movie as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Dawn of the Dead, right? The original consumerism.
Man, I actually still really like the remake.
Yeah, me too, right? I love the remake too.
Yeah, I actually really like it. Okay, that's another story though.
Yeah. So I mean, like I think it still holds up despite some of the criticisms we bring up. Like, again, how would she be that big and strong in the dark all these years? Well,
She just is.
she
okay,
just
Mary,
is. Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of well, it just is stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when
Right.
we talked about Richard Brake's character, like how did he survive all these years?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
And
'Cause I
maybe
mean,
if
I-
they slapped on the end, all of this is true, then I'd be like, wait a fucking
Based on true events.
Yeah, that was the last thing we needed, right? Based on the true
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
Well, I
if
mean,
they
that's
had
the thing
thrown
is,
that
like-
in, yeah.
Sometimes a story is a story, and if we all sat there and there are times where you can sit there and point
We
out
can
plot
overanalyze,
holes.
we can
You can
nitpick,
yeah. Sometimes you just have to let it go and be like, a movie is a movie.
I mean-
A story is a story.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at
Either
the
you
Bible.
like it or you don't like it.
Look at the Bible.
Look at the Bible.
Like,
You just gotta suspend your disbelief for that shit.
see, and that's
now I
what's-
got everybody screaming at me.
yeah, so that's what's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact that like if a movie is well made, we're more likely to forgive its shortcomings.
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
that is true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if a movie is made not so well, then that's when we're more apt to tear it apart. So it's just kind of funny how it happens that way sometimes.
That's the part of being human.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. No, I
That's what also
argue
tears
that.
our civilizations apart sometimes.
Yeah.
So
but I also know where you're coming from, Alan, because I have seen people that have on second watch don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Because that shock
Yeah.
factor is gone.
Mhm.
But I've also seen people say it still holds up perfectly fine. Me personally, I'll probably wait a couple years
Mhm.
and kind of let my mind forget some of the stuff that goes on, because I'll be good at that. I can forget stuff pretty quickly.
Yes, you can. Yes,
My
you can.
superpower.
Yes, you can. It
It's my
drives us
superpower.
fucking crazy.
I still think though, like if I had to break the movie apart, my favorite part of the movie was the first act. With Bill
Agreed.
Skarsgård
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
I just think that
Agreed.
it was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
He did such a good job, and like tonally, that's kind of the movie that I really like a lot too. So yeah, I'm always apt to, kind of lean more toward that stuff anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. but I think-
boo. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever, it happens.
Boo, yes.
Go to hell.
No, one thing I will say that I'm glad about
Why are
is
you
that at
yelling at
least
me?
this because
You got
Chad,
super loud for a second.
you can't hear. No, I'm just kidding.
The microphone's sensitive.
I'm just glad that there's another, like, I guess you say another female creature villain in the horror universe, if you will,
Sure.
because there just isn't that many of, at least in my opinion, I don't think there's that many female creatures, if you will, that are in horror movies. It's typically always a male character or something like that. But I think it's pretty cool that there's a memorable, another kind of like female
Mhm.
creature
That
antagonist
should be our poll
added in there.
for the end of this. Favorite female horror villain, creature, monster.
Creature monster. I was gonna say we can always name human ones, I think, but
Creature
how
monster.
many other female creature monsters are out there? So,
Chris is saying,
Yeah.
release
Yeah,
Rejuvenator.
well,
There's
yes,
none that are really coming to my head, like there's,
Blu-ray.
the Bride of Frankenstein,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. But no, I want like full on grotesque, like what this was, right?
Yeah,
Like the Queen Alien or Princess
Right.
Mommy.
Princess Mom. Oh, and she's scary. She is scary though.
Or
Return of Oz. But like Rejuvenate. I always say that
Shal-
too, Josh.
Shalab,
Yeah, I know you do.
Is that Shalab from Lord of the Rings.
Or the unnameable.
Yeah. Unnameable.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
What was the fish creature from that?
Oh yeah, she creature, right?
She creature,
The
yeah.
mermaid.
The mermaid thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I know that. Oh, the wasp woman.
Wasp
That's another one.
Ursula.
As well. Ursula.
Yo, I would love to see a horror version of the Little Mermaid.
So we watched the Little Mermaid remake. Melissa McCarthy's performance as Ursula,
Mhm.
incredible.
Yeah.
I bet it is. I love that woman. Sorry, I know
Absolutely.
people probably yell at me.
But
for
her
that
makeup
too,
was
but I
shit.
love
We're
it.
just saying. Her makeup was shit.
Bless her heart.
I will watch it when it hits Disney Plus. So my kids
Yeah.
were not sitting for that because it's way too long for what it
Although-
is. But
Shit,
we'll
I
get to
forgot.
it.
Well, and then there's also the nun, by the way.
The Nun. Yes, the Nun. Valak.
And I guess in some way you could say Bathsheba from The Conjuring, even though that
Yeah.
character's played by a man.
Well, technically, this creature is played by a man.
He's a man?
So if you're going with
That's true
that,
too. No, that's true too. You got a point.
Oh yeah, that is right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and then of course the remake of Castle Freak
Hmm.
as well. So the freak in that one is female.
I thought
Spoiler
I was thinking about Castle Freak, and I was like, was it a female? Am I remembering that wrong? And
Oh yeah, because the one scene to really remember from that is nasty. Out of the whole remake, that's what makes the remake
stand
probably
out.
memorable. Yeah, stand
Okay.
out. There's that one
Okay.
scene. You know what I'm talking about, probably.
Well, my new obsession is Palm Clementif, right? Is that her name? She plays the kick-ass villain in the new Mission Impossible movie named Paris.
Oh, I had no idea. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I was like,
But she plays Mantis in the Guardians movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce
the
her.
actress.
I
I know
don't know
you're
if
talking
that's how her last name's pronounced, but man, her is Paris. She's my new obsession.
Well, Alan, a question for you then.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite female creature, villain, antagonist, whatever?
And it can't be your own creation. I knew you were going to say Hazel.
I'm gonna have to go with your mom. I'm trying to think.
She can be a monster sometimes.
Yeah. Well, God, it's not really a monster. Oh God, what is her name? Oh,
She's the person from.
Well, if
that
you remember the
movie.
name of the movie, I could probably.
It's the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, the White Witch, right?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda
Tilda
Swinton.
Swinton, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the White Witch. Her playing the White Witch, dude.
She was good. in
Dude,
that
was
one.
good.
Yeah.
She was
She's also
so
a great
good.
villain in
She was good,
Snowpiercer
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And Mary Shaw, Dead Silence,
Mary Shaw.
Oh yeah.
and the Guardian, early '90s, by the way.
Oh, the tree lady.
Yes.
Yes, I remember the Guardian. I remember that's got a crazy director. It's someone like William Friedkin, is it not? Like,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
big director. Yeah, it's Friedkin. I thought it was.
That's one movie you don't really hear a lot of, but it's actually pretty
I should probably
good.
watch
It feels very small, I think, right, with the way that's made.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, recommend
Yeah.
it. People should see it.
My other favorite monster is Celine from the Underworld movies. Kate Beckinsale.
Dude, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Chad's looking at different attributes than the rest of us.
I think so.
He's
I think
choosing.
so. That's the other thing too. Is like, and this is probably going to be a little bit on the rant too. But like, I don't think if you're someone that creates a female creature, she does not have to be beautiful. Why does beautiful beautiful have to be a word to describe
Every
this
female
villain, and
character.
especially this villain who's supposed to be grotesque and nasty and gross or whatever and bloody, whatever you can. But because I always hate when some of like these studios, whenever you've seen like behind the scenes or whatever, and they talk about, oh well, while making her, we had to make sure that she was dark, fantastical, and beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why does she have to be beautiful? Because she's not beautiful. Like, she's killing people. Why is she beautiful?
But like you hear that a lot when you have like, people that are describing like just female characters in general. Like, well, she's smart, she's resourceful, she's sexy, and I'm like,
Yeah, I
Does
don't
it
like that
have
either.
Oh, yeah, I
Really?
forgot. Yes, yeah. Remind me to put that down on my next job resume. Right? yeah, Alan,
smart,
you just
resourceful,
100%
sexy.
Alan's in there going like, thanks, Chad, you're describing me.
Chad, thank you so much.
I'll send you a gift basket. There we go.
Well, you got the
Another
fruit
one.
basket.
Wow.
You got the fruit basket and now a gift
Now
basket.
gift basket.
So yeah, and I guess for those of you who don't know, we'll be going down to Charlotte next month. We're catching a flick for the sequel to Neil Breen's Twisted Pair, and I am so excited for that, and I hope we get to do a retrospective.
I know, Josh. I feel you. I'm sitting here.
Let's have fun with that.
Oh man,
I'm
I need-
dragging Chris with us too. So
like,
Yeah.
oh, I hope I can brave. I might need. I mean, I might have to carry a big bag with me with some vodka or something.
Dude, you'll be all right because
Right.
it is going to be such a fun experience, and I cannot wait.
Be like,
I'll feed you.
the
A
child
couple
be like, "What are you
Delta
doing,
9s before
bringing
we
vodka
go."
in here?" Be like, "Just imagine that it's Mama's candy."
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be dragging you through the front door.
Like, Chris, we don't have any
Yeah.
Baptist rosé today.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Normally, Chris like, "Hey, Mama, some of them Baptist rosés." Like, here you go. Here's the Diet Coke.
That's right.
The Diet Coke.
All right, guys. So that was Barbarian. I think we're gonna wrap this. I think we're gonna wrap this one up. So
I think
let's,
so too.
Let's throw out some social media presences. Alan, why don't you kick us off? Tell everybody where they can find you, find your stuff. You know.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Chaps of Fury. Obviously, follow us on Kickstarter. That is the best way to stay in contact with all the crazy stuff that we're doing. We have our newsletter, and it's thetophatstudios.substack.com. And now you can, find us at your local comic shop, which is kind of crazy to say.
October 25th.
When are you
Yeah.
signing up for Threads?
Oh God! Apparently, I need to do that. Right? Is that a thing that everyone's
That's the
doing
new.
now?
It's the new Twitter.
Is it really? I don't know.
Fucking Twitter's in the negative, so Threads is going to step up, I guess. and take it.
It's not Twitter yet, Chad. Sorry. I know
It's
you want it
not.
to be, but
They're
it's
still
not.
missing. But
And then
But you gotta
Josh, or I'm sorry, Chad, where can people find you outside of the
absolutely
podcast?
nowhere, because I am nowhere to be found in this world.
I call BS on that.
Well, I mean, I have stuff, but they're all private
Why?
because all my premium content is on my OnlyFans. Okay.
Well, give out your
Including-
OnlyFans.
According his wiki feed.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
no,
It's
he does
only-
only cans because he's got that booty though.
All right, Chad.
I
Give him your
wish.
letterbox.
I've
They
lost
can at
half
least
my
find
ass.
Give the
That was my
letterbox.
best feature.
What's your
but-
letterbox?
What is my letterboxed? What is my
Give him
letterboxed?
your AIM information.
2001 call.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, it's green screen grin. Letterboxed. There we go. So you can find
Go
me
ahead,
on
Chris.
Letterboxd, even though my reviews are not worth reading at all. They're just for me, for my own personal entertainment.
That's okay. They still can be
That's
fun.
me too.
I was like, this movie was shit, and I get it 1 star. That'll be it.
Looking at you, Logan. 1-star review for Logan.
Ooh.
Logan was shit.
And so
Although I do like James Mangold. I
Mhm.
did no, seriously. He did Girl Interrupted. It's one of my favorite movies.
That's a good movie.
it is a good movie.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't hate
That's a good
everything. I just didn't really care for Logan.
What you doing?
Nothing.
What you go to your room and do? Nothing.
Chris, get us out of here. Come on, Chris.
So
We're
Instagram,
trying
X,
to leave.
yeah, Instagram X Topher of Oz, and Twitter it's CBC Monkey, and Letterbox. You can find me on Chat and Josh's and log me on through there, whatever you guys want to do. Joshy, take us on out.
Josh, tell us where they can find you at.
Yeah, and I'm on Threads, but it's not really. I'm not really doing the podcast related stuff that much. So mainly I'm on Twitter at YNF Movie Pod. If you go to linktr.ee/YNF Movie Pod, you can also find a YouTube channel,
Yay.
my Letterboxd account, a couple other social media accounts that I don't actually use anymore, so I wouldn't worry about those. Mainly on Twitter if you want to reach out. And we'll be back with. Depends when I get this out, because it may be Chad and Chris coming back with me. Depends if I get this out
Yay.
this week or not, because we are recording next week as well. But until then, you guys take care, and I will talk to you next time.
Bye.